ya tankgolle o tsamaise lenaneo jaaka o rulagantse tanki phahukana bole tshele kgabo ke toga ke ikgolela o se bantsha kgalla mokubu morana ke a go rapela nna ne ke lebetse kana ngwana o tlhalosa serata sentle ke rra mongwe ga ke ja monate a ko emegela bate ba go bone kwa mokubung motho mahatleng kwa dinokeng phologolo e seng o betile mothulana a potana ba le nama ka taphoko nkabe ke na le seleperudi ka morwalela mariga a tang a tampakela ka kare ke di atana ke tshaba go morwalela ditharapana gamme ya kgaola ya yora letsatsi mothakana ke bata go mela kodu barutabana le re tirisitseno kana ditetse re lebogile lo ga nkgarela garele thata kgamela a setswana e se tshwaphoge a nkgwana a setsentse bagana le le teng magarela puo itse ga masea re sa nyorilwe metswadi le nne le tswenetswene le re sietse thothi ya re lekana re sa lekana le mathankana le re sietse thothi ya re lekana le sa re lekane re ta lekana ra re a sego senwe le buileng sente thuto reno e bokete ke feditse motho a batho
Point in time, I shall call upon my father, Mr. Lich Tomelang, to give us a synopsis of what is coming. Thank you.
Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. And in doing so, I will just make a few points because he has had a long and varied career. Dr. Pelonomi Vincent Muitoi was born here in Serowe. I won't tell you the year. She holds a Master's of Science degree in Administration from Central Michigan University, 1987. Certificate in Journalism, Mindolo Economical Center, Kitwe, Zambia. Public Secretary Certificate, Local Government, Kenya Institute of Public Administration, 1975. Diploma in Local Government, Institute of Public Service, Connecticut, United States of America, 1981. Work experience, she started here at Serowe as editor of Miri up to 1972. She rose in the ranks of the Botswana Civil Service up to the level of Permanent Secretary. Her last posting was at Local Government and Lands, or Local Government, Lands and Housing. When she retired from the civil service, she then became Chief Executive Officer, Kalahari Conservation Society, from April 1993 to October 1994. Then she was Managing Director at the Institute for Local Government and Development in Cape Town. In October 1999, she was specially elected Member of Parliament, then Chairman of Parliamentary Law Reform Committee, Chairman of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Chairman Presidential Commission on Local Government Structure. In 2004 to date, elected Member of Parliament for Serowe South constituency. From 8th November 2001 to date, Cabinet Minister. Been member of the Botswana Democratic Party, then became acting executive secretary, member of the Political and Education Committee, Deputy Secretary General, and Public Service Management, Administrative Systems, and those are her specialization. And she has been doing consultancy work ever since. She has a long and very interesting, varied career. I cannot say all of it here because I will simply be taking the place of a guest speaker, and I would not like to do that. Welcome, Honorable Minister.
Abatsadi ba rona ba ba tswang ko motseng ko gae ba eleng gore tota hala sekgwa ga ba sutu go thelele ba teng hana ke kopa gore le soletse mabogo ha le ntseng teng ke se ka toga ka le sia thata nna bonkuku mo seroe ba itse I don't care about ba se itse ke ta le bolella gore ka goreng re na le baeng le babonye jaanong mahoko a ke nannao ha a kwadulwe ka tšhomi jaanong ne ke eletsa gore ke a bale ka gore tota beng ba one ba ba baakantseng ba tsere malatsi ba baakanya ke ne ke eletsa gore ke a rulaganye hela jaaka beng ba one ba a dirile ke sa thaolole ka ope mokgwa mme ga ke batle go losia ba ba ka ha ba ba siame ba ba tshwanetse go nkutwa ba mme ke tshwenyegela botsadi jo ka ope mokgwa bo ka togang ja sala a gona le mongwe ka go botsadi ga ke batle o tatogang a boela ko gae ba re biditse ga re tsena kwa twin goodbye ga ke re siame yo ba pile nna ya ha o bona go twin thata mo khote gore a re ngwanyana ga majinja mo re ampa ga ke re mo khote hela gore ngwanyana ga majinja ha ba tshoma thata jana a re ke na hano le mokaolengwe re le bonama mokalake mokaolengwe ka nna mo parlamente mo ngame kgosi mokhutshwane sekgoma modulasetulo wa khansele eno re le segora ditanka le bakaolengwe makhanselara ka wena rraetsho bo monna kgosi mo motseng ono wa serowe mothei wa sekwelese ke tshwanetse ka go totomatsa le magosi re Patrick van Rensburg le bana ba gago mo tsatsing leno ra o jale magosi ke tshwanetse ka go ba ho ke tota ya sengwato go tshwanetse mo tsatsing leno molaodi wa kgaolo eno bakaolengwe di classmate kana ke eme ke re o mofia kwenu aha ke itsile gore ba teng our former teachers if it hadn't been for you for the perseverance the tolerance you showed For some of us who sat through your classes pretending to listen, pretending to study, some of us didn't have half a chance to become anything. And yet, you sat there and did the best you could. Now look at us today. Some of us had no chance. Botswana was nothing. If it wasn't for education, there wouldn't be any of this. Certainly for some of us, for people like myself, rural girls from poor families, single mothers who had nothing else other than an opportunity to go to school. Some of us couldn't even pay school fees. I know that some of the teachers contributed to pay my school fees. I didn't even know your names. Today, I have the opportunity to say thank you to all of you. It is a moment that all of us are going to cherish. That was my speech. Now let me do the speech from all of us. Now on behalf of the alumni of Swaneng, to you, my teachers, to you, our parents, and particularly and especially to you, Patrick, and the sacrifices you made, I am humbled and privileged to be here and doing this on behalf of everybody that has gone through this life. I am humbled that I am one of the former students of this great school and this great experience in life. Those of us who know the history of the school, who understand why Swaneng would always stand out as a special experience in our lives. It is its model of inception that makes it this special. Reading from the calendar of events, you would realize that the school turned 50 years in January last year. However, due to some constraints beyond the school's control, the commemoration could only run this year. I'm reliably informed that as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Swaneng, we should seek to re-emphasize the core principles which characterize the vision upon which the school was founded. Anchored on the original personal commitment of Pat to this region. As such, the organizers of this event are therefore, or rather they chose the vision, or rather the theme, Vision Lives On, as the theme for this holistic day, or rather the historic and holistic day. Today we meet here to witness a masterpiece of individual brilliance and a vision that so stood the test of time. A brief history of Patrick van Rensburg, popularly known as Pat, born in South Africa, should assist us to understand why he finally settled in Botswana. He had to leave South Africa in 1960 because of the political situation there, since he was being hunted down by the security forces in that country for being a political activist. He finally settled in the United Kingdom for some time, where he met and married his lovely wife, Elizabeth, who was to be his companion in the challenging events that will be the subject of my speech. In his continuous thoughts about the unfavorable conditions in the Southern Africa region, which was still under colonial rule, and in other respects dominated by oppressive regimes in the South Africa and Rhodesia region, it dawned on him that he had a personal commitment to the material, social, cultural, and political advancement of the peoples of the Southern African region where he was born. This is an important consideration to keep in mind as to why his subsequent actions aimed at validating his original thoughts. He therefore packed his bags with his wife, and they arrived in Bechuanaland Protectorate in 1962, and they settled here in Serowe. Today, the land where the school is built was allocated by Kgosi Rasebola Ikhamane, who was the tribal authority then. Sereza Khama, who was the secretary to the tribal council, played a major role as he had given his blessing for the proposal to build a school by Patrick van Rensburg. I wish to inform you, ladies and gentlemen, that the school is named after the son or daughter of the memorable hills of Ma and Swaneng, which are in the vicinity of the school. These are the two hills back here, Swaneng le Swaneng. The founders of the school are Patrick and his wife Elizabeth. As they continued to ponder on the idea of building this school, they lived next to the site in a room that was kindly offered to them by Job and Maria Mataboge, who were later to build a shop which was popular to us for selling a nice fat cake. One of the motivating factors to build a secondary school in Serowe was that there were large numbers of primary school leavers throughout Bechuanaland, but with few secondary schools. As a result, the pressure for admission into secondary school was intense. The first groundwork involved bush clearing at the site undertaken by Pat, his wife, and some students from Simon Ratsusa Primary School, where the two were teaching. The first classroom at the school was completed in February 1963 with the assistance of volunteers, mostly students of all races from the South African Work Camp Association during their December vacation. With the meager financial resources at the disposal of Pat, two builders, Solomon Matabane and Todd Kuhlman, with a few laborers to support them. These were engaged to supervise the construction. The school opened up for admission for the first intake of students. On reading the history of the school, one learns of the principles of cooperation and self-reliance as having formed the basis upon which the school was built. Swaneng is one of the oldest secondary schools in the country, founded and started operation in 1963. At the time of its inception, there were only 6 secondary schools in Bechuanaland. As such, words can never be enough to emphasize the need for secondary schools at that time. The founder of the school was a great visionary leader who was not only focused on bringing a positive change into his life, but was also determined to induce the same in others. As we are gathered here today to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the school, let us not take our minds away from the fact that we are also here to bear testimony to a historic monument, which is the brainchild of Pat's innovative thinking and Liz, who was a proactive partner. His vision of Southern Africa's inclusion was demonstrated in that the school has students from both South Africa and Rhodesia. I wish to take this opportunity to urge all of us to challenge ourselves individually and ask this question: what do I have to show as a former student of Swaneng that so identifies with the vision of the founder of the school, which I am a product of? I will pause there, and this is deliberate. I will tell you, Patrick, and this is not in the speech, you will be happy to know, Patrick, that your idea about a dual form of education and vocational training being necessarily a part of education is now formally being introduced back into education as a full-time requirement. I am happy, by the grace of God, that I happened to be minister, to have been given the opportunity to be a former student of Swaneng, and I did not let the opportunity go by. The Botswana Qualifications Framework has made sure, Patrick, during your lifetime, vocational training will now be part of education, that from JC, students can either go academic or vocational or brigades as a question of choice. That is now in the books. And for as long as I have breath in my body, and for the remaining, how many months before the elections? I will see it to the end. For however many days I have, at the grace of the President, to be Minister of Education, I will see it through, sir, I can promise you that. And it is good for a man to live to see his legacy to fruition. So even when God finally takes us away from this earth, this is one dream for you that I would like to help see through. Our school here is not the only one that would be associated with the founding initiatives of PET. Other schools and institutions are also products of this innovative leadership. Those worth remembering are Shashe River School, Madiba Secondary School, Seruwe Brigades, Seruwe Cooperatives, Donota Brigades, Mahalape Brigades, though jointly with the Ministry of Education. I will say, ultimately, brigades grew to a full number of 38, and that number has now comfortably become a full part of the national education system, and they will become part of the national education system. And thank to you, Patrick, all of that. Nothing lives longer than a man's ideas. Whether we like to write them off or polish them off, they will remain your ideas, Patrick. Mikhwadi Khan was also your brainchild, Patrick. And of course, many more. I often have regrets that it closed under my editorship, largely because of my own mischief and my editorship, poking ideas and threatening the office of the president with exposures about their Dukwi camp. But then again, that was youth and inquisitive minds. I'm still like that. I haven't changed. I belong to the Democratic Party. I haven't stopped poking and asking questions. I just do it differently and maybe more diplomatically. But the asking hasn't stopped. You just learn how to ask it differently, but it's the same questions. This is another testimony that the works of Van Rensburg did not only affect lives in Seruwe, but has had some tremendous effect in the development of this country. Your work will live on, Patrick. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask all of you to rise, because I want us to recognize and pay tribute to the visionary leadership of Patrick Van Rensburg. We in Seruwe he made Serowe a place of learning. As we do this, we have to thank him, and Patrick, we must thank you, sir, for making Serowe the place of gathering, the place where learning with production began, the place where students knew that in order for their siblings to come to school, a class had to be built, the place where we knew that if we wanted to learn chemistry, we had to build the laboratory, the place where we knew that if we wanted a dining hall, we had to build it ourselves. I just wish that we could reignite that spirit once more. Somehow we've lost it, which is sad. I just don't know how to do it. But you are still alive, Patrick. I just pray to God that your health holds on and that God gives you more days and gives you strength and health, and that we can still tap a few more ideas out of you to reignite this. May God continue to bless you. I thank you. Ke tsa gore ba ga Mangwatu ha ke leboga Re van Rensburg ke mo leboga mo boemong ja lona ga la nthoma mme ke tsa gore ha ke leboga Re van Rensburg gore o re hile lesedi mo motsing wa rona o a ba re totomatsa a ba re ha leina gore re nne motswedi wa thuto a ba re ha leina gore bana ba itse gore ba tshwanetse ba itirela ka mabogo a bone ka gore nna ne re lema merogo e re shabang ka yone ne re gama dikgomo kwa re ira madila re bitsa ogate ne re ira ogate kwa madila ne re shaba ba bangwe ne ba bihela le gale mme ne re ira yogate ko fameng kwa ke tsa gore ha ke mmoka jalo ke tsa gore ke dira jalo le ha nne le santha jalo ke selo se re se dumelang rothe ba gaetso ha ile gore go ntse jalo lona ba ga Mangwato a kuto mogolokwane jano the only thing ka gore nna ke motho wa go bua boammaruri. Now, the only thing that wanted to cloud this issue, Patrick, was our political differences, unfortunately. We politicians have got a terrible habit of not seeing ideas for the bigger good they have on the nation. Just because Patrick may have associated with another party, we chose to focus on the issue of his political choice. That, Patrick, was unfortunate. We should have focused on the value of education and production and focused on that rather than the choice of your vote. I don't care about where you vote, Patrick. I would rather you voted with me, but hell, if you